your questions that you have, type them out, because we're going to be talking about trends, tips, and tools, but you might have other questions that are specific to you. So we're going to give you some time to ask those questions of Wilson or myself. And so, of course, my name is Kendall Matthews. I am the head of marketing for North America for Electronique. And Electronique is an RPA platform that focuses solely on IT service providers and helping them with our platform to serve others. And that's what we're so excited about doing, especially providing those unlimited back office cloud bots that we offer to individuals on our platform. Because what makes us different than the rest is that we help IT service providers build, sell, and support, and making sure that you're growing your business. And then with Wilton and his team, he's able to do a lot of great things as well because they've been a part of our platform for a while. But I don't want to talk about it. I want to make sure that Wilton tells this story. So Wilton, talk to us about like your background of how you began becoming involved in RPA, and then how you found us.
Yeah, great question, and I'll try to keep it short. It is a little long, but I'll keep it short. I started in RPA in 2017. It sort of just came upon. I mean, I'm a serial entrepreneur by heart, and I've never been in the technology industry ever. And long story short, I was offered a position to be a VP of Sales and Marketing for a new RPA company back in 2017. When they interviewed me, I started understanding what RPA was, and I was just blown away, like what it could do. And being an entrepreneur and being an owner of companies, I understood processes. And I'm like, if they can do it, I mean, this is a game changer for any business. So I was sold. So moved my family to Houston, started working it, but we were stuck in the enterprise world pretty much. And, trying to be a service provider for all businesses, it just wasn't happening. And, I was doing well in the enterprise world, but my love and passion wasn't there. And so I just started venturing out and looking at other RPA vendors and started talking to other, developers, work with other developers, talking to companies, seeing what they wanted, trying to figure out what RPA software would work best. So during that time, I was able to build relationships with different developers, analysts, project managers, and we just sort of after 2 years of work with the company, I decided to go on my own, took my chances, moved back to New Mexico and started my own company. And it's sort of just start reaching out to companies and figuring out what they needed, and then start working with vendors that can help them and developers. And so I was just doing a lot of contract work. And during that time, Dimitri Ortiz, our project manager, actually said, "Hey man, have you heard of Electronic?" I said, "I've never heard of who they are, what they do." And he gave me the lowdown on what you guys did, and I was just like, okay, if they can do what they say they can do, this is exactly what we've been looking for. It's a game changer for us because now we can actually focus on the client. We can just focus on the client, what they need for now, looking towards the future, and being able to provide it for them at a price where it's not going to just, it's not going to break the bank. And then little by little, we start working with you guys and all the different upgrades. Our development team start getting comfortable with their tech team. They start building that relationship, and it just sort of took off. And that was, gosh, it's been almost 3 years. And I literally remember when, I don't know how many employees there, it might have been 12, 20 employees at the time. I think you guys are close to 300 in a couple of years. But just to be able to be part of the growth, not only with you guys, but the industry has been amazing, because now we're starting to we're in a position now, we put ourselves in a position to be able to offer this to any business at any level, at any size, any revenue type, size company. And it's all because of companies like yours, especially yours. I think, I'll talk about it later, but I mean, the majority of our work is done through Electronique. But that's sort of how we got into it. We're not tech, I have no tech background at all, but I do know processes, and I know people, and I know services. So I started putting all that together along with our tech team, and we just built something that's starting to grow.
That's a great question. I want to ask you this because you made a good point. You said you didn't have any technical background, technical experience before, but now you do, of course, a lot. So I want to have a question for everyone who's listening in right now. If you have more than 3 years experience in the technology industry, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. So go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you have more than 3 years of experience in the technology industry. Go ahead. There we go. Lead Christian. There it is. Dr. Christopher. All right. Perfect. Uh, John, I see you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Rob. All right. Got it.
I was waiting for Rob to do it. Dr. Pillay, I was like, okay, guys, I know you guys have some experience. Where are those thumbs?
Exactly. We're looking at the thumbs. Yes. So and that's one of the things. This is a new and things are going. And I have a question for you. And if RPA is growing so fast, how come more people haven't heard about it often until like this year?
I think RPA is, first of all, RPA was an enterprise type service, and it's working its way down. So a lot of the data you see now is based on things that happen in the enterprise world. We're creating our own. All the data we put out there is because we've done hundreds of processes, so we sort of create our own. But the reason why I think people haven't really heard of it is because two things. They get confused with automation. Most of the time we talk to people, they say, "Oh, we already have automation." And the minute I mentioned, "Oh, so you have RPA?" They're like, "What's that?" I said, "Okay, well, you really don't have full automation." But I think it's because it's something new. It's really something new. But it's starting to pick up fast. And I'll go into more detail later. But I think it's because it's been around for quite a while, but it hasn't really start getting some momentum until probably last year. And this year is really taking off. The speed is it's picking up a lot faster. So people will start hearing about it a lot more, and they'll start seeing how it can relate to them, especially as the years come, because it's going to start offering it's available to all businesses. So it'll start picking up.
Yeah, and I want to add to that point too, Wilton. We also got to consider, post-COVID. Post-COVID, the digital, we went from the information age right into the digital transformation era. So companies were all looking to see how they could streamline and automate and do business better. And so now we're getting to the point where it's now not a luxury anymore to have automation. It's imperative if you want to be competitive.
No, you made a good point, Rob, about that. And do you have anything to help people understand that? Any type of content to help people understand about this industry? Do you have anything that you want to share?
Yeah, we sure do. I mean, we try to post. We're very active on LinkedIn. We have a daily posts on there, whether it's our personal or business page. But we have a community. We built a community, and in that community, we share ideas. We share use cases. We share all the information that we have that people have to really understand, really want to get a better feel of what RPA is. But right now it's just that because it's so new, people are still saying, okay, I don't want to, invest my time and energy into another thing. So we're trying to be as educational as possible on LinkedIn in our community, just so people can get a better understanding before they start making that investment.
Perfect. And if you have a link that you want to put inside of our chat session down there, go ahead and do that. That'd be great. But I want to ask everyone who's listening right now a question, because you're here to understand some tips as well. So if you want to hear some tips from Wilton, go ahead and hit the heart button on the React. Hit that heart button on the React if you want to hear some specific tips that will specifically help you in your RPA journey. There we go. I see some hearts coming up. I need to see 2 more hearts, because I don't know if everyone.
Eric doesn't count. Eric don't count because he works with us. He's one of our. He's doing some amazing work. He's in the Latin American region, but he's doing a lot across the world with us, and he's part of us. So man, it's good to see you out here too.
There he is. All right. So one of the questions what about this? How long does it take to automate a process? So give us some tips around that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Of course, it varies, but I'll tell you this: there's a secret. Developing is not the hard part. That's the easy part. Once our developers get it, we're building processes within days and weeks. We really are. It's all the information gathering. It's all the things that you have to do up front, the mapping out, everything that you have to do prior to going into development. That takes a while. And then, before we go live, we do a lot of testing. So we want to make sure when it's ready to roll that it's up and running, in full throttle with no no errors, no mistakes. So, I think that for the most part, the way that we're starting to see some instant growth is basically just, really just trying to work on that front end of the development, the information gathering, collecting that data, giving it over to our team, so it's already mapped out and can build. So developing is the easy part. Before that is where all the delays happen. So and we have proof of that. We worked on a couple of very complex processes, but we worked with businesses that already mapped it out. They have an analyst. They already know what they want to do. We tweak a little couple of things here and there. They give it to us almost turnkey, ready to be developed. And we've knocked those processes out that they've been doing for years and years and very complex. We've knocked them out within 30 days.
Nice. Well, one of the other questions that we have is, and of course I like to see things, is what makes RPA different than other automation software? Because isn't it the same, or is it different? What's the difference?
Yeah, great question. It is different. It's and that's where the mistakes that happen, or not the mistake, the misunderstanding happens. People think that it's just another automation software, but the difference is all these automation softwares, they still take manual work or human activity somewhere before, during, or after those processes in order to complete it. RPA, what it does, it attaches all these applications, all these softwares, and it finds out all the clicks, basically. Where are you clicking to go to the next? It's just a click. It follows all the rules that you do. And it doesn't matter what applications you use. It's almost like a full integration of everything that you have, right? All these things can be integrated because there's thousands and thousands of software and applications out there, but there's logic built behind it. And once you understand that logic and you know where all the clicks go, all you have to do is put add RPA to it, and it takes that manual process away. So when we talk to people, we do two things. They say when they have automation, we said, oh, you have RPA? Then they say, well, what's RPA? Then we know that they're not fully automated, and we can find some other things. So that's one way that we can recognize that there's opportunity within that company. And another opportunity that we see is when people are just saying, hey, you know what, I have a lot of things that I click on every single day. And those are saying, okay, those are RPA opportunities. Let's sit down and talk about those. So, that's a big difference between regular software and RPA.
That's so good. I'll just add on to this. RPA, you can have a lot of different technologies in automation. RPA is that final piece that can help you create the intelligent automation. RPA is what allows it all to kind of work together. Your analytics, everything, recognition, everything you need to do. It allows everything to talk.
Rob, you're throwing in another term. So we have RPA, intelligent automation. What is intelligent automation?
Well, I'll talk for 15 seconds because you have the deep lowdown. but essentially, it's really just being intelligent with your operations, meaning you can automate anything, but you don't want to automate a broken process, right? And you don't want to automate the wrong thing. So intelligent automation is using all the different type of technologies that are possible to actually let's call optimize your particular process, right? And RPA is just that tool that glues it all together.
And I'll add on to that. They call it intelligent automation, hyper automation. RPA is a piece of that, and I think it's a really important piece because when you implement RPA, it allows you to be more intelligent about your automation, because now you can start looking into more AI, machine learning, different things technologies that you can help really enhance or improve your operation. And even when you're doing that, the great thing about that is when you do make these changes into those different programs or applications, you already have that logic built behind it. You can automatically implement RPA into that. And I'll give you one example. That we had one company that we already did some automation for, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, we're implementing this. We're going to have to maybe shut this off because now we're implementing this new process that we're doing. We're implementing this new application. And so we got to train on it. We got to learn how to do it. I said, well, why are you going to train on it? What do you need to do? And they walked us through the process. I said, why don't we just have the bot do those instead of having to train someone to do it and then have the bot do it? And that's what we did. They implemented that application. Then all of a sudden we just developed that process, and the employees never had to even know how to train on the application. All they know is that they were getting the results.
Got it. And one of the things that I want to ask, because we talked about in looking at the processes and what they're doing, and if you have to click on different things, although it's unique, we provide unlimited back office cloud bots. That's what the title of this is, and we talk about trends, tips, and tools. But what, Wilton or Rob, tell us, what are some true back office processes hey, if you want to focus on something for a small business to automate and to have intelligence automation around it, what are 2 or 3 areas inside of a small business that you kind of look at first?
Yeah, great question. I'm talking a lot, Rob. I'll let you take this, and I'll add on as well.
Well, I'll say one of the biggest things we've seen is invoice processing. The invoice processing, because that's so much used in every business has some type of that, and so there's going to be manual repetitive tasks inside of that, and depending on how big and deep the company is, there can be multiple, but we know it's the same type of activity. So invoice processing will be the top of the chain for me.
Yeah, I think invoice processing, we're doing a lot in HR, like payroll. We're doing onboarding, things like that. But sales orders, inventory management, data collecting, data scraping, anything doing with it in those areas seem to be a hot topic right now.
Got it. And we have about 5-7 more minutes left, and then we'll start have other folks raise their hands if they want to ask questions. If we can get them on the stage and ask some questions. But there is one big thing that I want you to even talk about, and that's what's going on in the world today. You have a lot of companies that are looking like they're downsizing, laying off. Is this even a great time for this industry to start expanding and going even faster? What do you think?
Oh, man. Go ahead, Rob.
Here's the deal. We just have to change our paradigm, about how we look at things. It's not about how things used to be. It's about how things are currently. And if we can do that and look at what's happening currently, and then how can we be better, then look at the future. Look at where we are currently, and then look at the climate and look at the future. And so what Rpa does is it allows you to do better business and stay in business and be more effective with your business, and allow the employees and the team members that are part of that business to be at their best instead of being handling a bunch of mundane, repetitive work. So you're actually doing better business with intelligent automation. You're doing yourself a disservice by not.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to point it. I definitely think that using RPA, it's a must in today's society. I mean, if you're not thinking about RPA, there's going to be a lot of things it's going to really slow you down. So for our clients and for us, we focus on what are the areas that we can tap into right away, that we can get a better understanding with RPA, so you can start looking at areas of your own business that you can automate. And that for us has been a lead in to be able to build strong relationships moving forward.
And that lead is important. And so one of the things that I want to make sure that folks are listening on the call, so if you're an IT service provider, and some IT service providers are looking at, all right, I'm looking at this to add another opportunity to help my clients become more successful. So what 1 or 2 tips would you give to them if they're even looking or considering to adding this as another recurring revenue stream?
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up because, a couple of things. I'll just tell you, we got into the business because we're a development firm. We develop, we know how to develop on use RPA and create these automation processes. But over the last, probably especially the last 6 months, we've gotten more interest from people that are wanting to use RPA as a service for their clients, and they are trying to go there. A lot of them are doing it, and they're trying to invest in it, but they don't have the necessary experience or resources to get it done right away. So a lot of our partners, what they're doing is say, hey, you know what? let's sort of team up with you or someone to understand RPA so we can start building it out ourselves. But we need that roadmap and those use cases and that experience that you guys already have to be able to lead by. That way we don't have to go through those trials and errors as well. But what we found out is that we're getting more attention now from with consultants or other businesses trying to use this as RPA as a service than we are with clients just wanting to develop, because they see the opportunity for not only for them but for all their clients, but need a resource to really make that happen right away. And at the same time, learn and try to be more self-sufficient down the line. But right now they know that, hey, just let's plug it in, let's get some wins under our belt. And as we start getting these wins, we'll start learning more. So, you know, we can take care of it ourselves. So we built some great relationships like that and we'll continue to.
Fantastic. And so how can folks get in contact with you? What's the best way to be able to get in contact with Simply Automate?
A couple of ways. I think the best way, we're always on LinkedIn. You know, our team's always on there. We're always on there. We're sort of just, you know, always posting there. You can get a hold of us on LinkedIn. You can go to our website. You can contact us through our website. We have all our contact information there. You know, so those are probably the best two ways to get a hold of us, and you probably get a response here probably within I would say within an hour, but more than likely within minutes. We're pretty fast at getting responses out there. So those are probably the best two ways to get a hold of us.
I also put the link in this event page here for this event. Everyone who's a part of this event, if you go back to the page, you'll see a link. We'll have our LinkedIn page there, as well as there's a Rpa Playbook, which is there's a link for that. And that's basically something that Wilton put together. Think about it like the X's and O's of automation. That's your playbook. How do you understand this thing, right? So that book will really take you from nowhere to somewhere quickly. So you can download that right there on the event page as well.
Love it. Rob is always good with that. From nowhere to somewhere. Let's do that. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure here at Electronique that we're giving you as well. And I invited Wasim Dia. He is a part of our team to let you know that if you want to be able to understand how Electronique's platform can help your business grow. So Wasim, could you tell folks like in 30 seconds or less how they can contact us and what your team does? And then I'm going to open it up for questions, folks. So if you want to ask questions to the stage, go ahead and start raising your hands, and I will select a couple of you, and then we'll move forward. So Wasim, go ahead.
Definitely. First of all, hi Wilton, hi Rob. Nice to meet you guys.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Thanks. Second of all, if anyone is interested in having a discovery call or contacting one of our teams, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can go on our website, which is electronique.com, and we have our little chatbot there who will happily book a discovery call with you. Those are the best two ways to reach us. Always happy to take inquiries. We're always happy to help businesses grow. We're one of the only companies that are focused on the small to medium-sized industry. So I look forward to having those discovery calls booked and getting to know new people.
Yeah. Wonderful. You know what? Can I add something to that real fast? And I want to talk about just about Electronique. We work with many vendors. We have of course we have some big vendors on our books, and so but I've been in this industry for a long time, and I've probably worked with about 12, 13 different vendors throughout that time. And Electronique really, you guys hit on the mark, man. You really have, when it comes down to understanding your client, not only what their needs are, but you take care of them in any way you possibly can. You really build those relationships. And we wouldn't be where we are right now if we weren't able to build those relationships with you guys, because it allow us to be able to spread our wings.
Yep.
And you guys assisted us along the way. So the help, the support is pretty amazing. So
true.
It's a great partnership.
Well, we have Waleed. He wants to come and ask a question, so I'm going to have him come up on stage and ask a question. So let's go and hit the allow button and see if that worked. Nice. And Waleed, you're on. let's see here. Willie, can you go ahead and turn yourself off of mute? Oh,
yeah.
There we go. All right.
Okay, great. So I have a technology background. Like I've been doing automation, but the hardware, which is coding, to link more than one application together, like for example, point of sale with CRM and financials in the background. And I used coding a lot. I've been looking at something to make it much easier. I have an application now I want to build, and it looks like something like this would be great, actually. Like I'm building an application to sell it mostly to marketing, the marketing technology space. So what I need to see is some kind of a demo to see what's the difference, for example, between Zapier and Power Automate from Microsoft and Electronic. I still have no idea. Mind you, at one point I did schedule an appointment just to see a demo of some sort, but that didn't go anywhere. Meaning I did meet someone online, but let me say it was not a productive meeting. So what I'm looking for now is there a demo, actual demo, that I can see how things work, or even a video?
Absolutely. Well, you want me to answer that one, or you want to take that one, Kendall?
Yeah. Go ahead. You can answer.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for your question. Absolutely. I mean, we really want to focus on, find out exactly what it is that you're looking at with your background as far as a technical background in coding. You'll be able to catch on pretty fast. It should, the understanding and being able to implement it is probably going to be a lot faster for you than it would be for anybody like me. But as far as any videos and use cases or any ideas on how it works, we have it, and we have a lot of that. A lot of that is with Electronic. Most of it is with Electronic. So I'll be happy to share that with you. And show you exactly what the capabilities are with the software. But yeah, if you're looking for any information or any use cases or videos to show you exactly what it looks like, absolutely, we have that.
Okay, great. I'll send you a message through LinkedIn, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. That'd be perfect.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Willie. Thank you for appreciate that. Move you to listening here. And then let's see here. Luis, let's see if we can allow you to speak here. I hit the button. So one of the things that, let's see here, allow. I clicked allow, and it should work. Oh. Doesn't look like it's there. Okay. So, Wilton, Rob, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. All right. So make sure everyone can still hear me. So if you like this type of format and you want to have some more of our LinkedIn audio events like this, and Luis, I'm hitting the allow button trying to get you on the stage, and it's just not working for me right now, but I'm still hitting the button to see if you can get on. But if you like this type of format that we're doing, go ahead and hit the heart button, and we can do more of these types of trends, topics, and even deep dives to help everyone to become successful as your RPA service providers moving through this process. So if this is a format that you like, go ahead and hit that heart button. All right, 1, 2, I got the thumbs up. Perfect. Yeah, thank you for that encouragement, because we need that. This type of feedback on LinkedIn is great. So let's see, Luis, you came on board. Wonderful, thank you.
Sorry, I was getting the pop-up for a little microphone and I was just not seeing it. Well, good morning. I'm from Costa Rica and I was just thinking about entering the B2B market. But it's when it comes to RPA, you've got this marketing concept with other software products where you have this product-led marketing strategy. Like if you have a CRM and you have like this free available software version that potential customers could get to use, and after that they would get happy with your product and purchase that. With RPA, software is kind of more personalized and adjusted to fit each customer need, right? So basically my question is for a naive young guy that wants to reach to a B2B industry, what would you say would be the best marketing strategy to get to a lead or start a conversation with, this type of market? And that's my main question. Like, how do you start a conversation? Are they reaching to you throughout the web or throughout LinkedIn media, or are you cold calling? Are you targeting specific customers? I don't have a clue on that part, and it would be great if you could just give me some light.
Yeah, Luis, great question. I think for us, we love the small, medium-sized business. That's where our passion is. We know that most of our business right now is a small, medium-sized enterprise, but we're building our model. But that model, it takes a while, and you have to. It's about education. If you go to our website, if you go to our LinkedIn page, it's all about education. We're not trying to sell it. We're not trying to sell anything. We're just trying to educate people and give people enough knowledge to be able to say, "Oh, let me look into it," right? So if you are talking to people, they can at least go find a thread of things that you're doing, so they can at least get a feel of what it is, so they can, that can generate hopefully some interest. So the best thing to do is, first of all, is figure out ways that you can educate them. We do some searches. We have a unique way of finding some prospects, but for the most part, it's all about education. Even with those prospects that we're getting, we have to nurture them. They have to build that trust as something brand new, something that they never heard of. How can this even really help me? So every client that you talk to is going to be different. The conversation, their knowledge, their understanding is totally different. So you can't just cookie cut a conversation. You got to be in there, really listen to where they're at and what they're looking for, so you can connect the dots. It's a very tricky when it comes to smaller businesses. Enterprise, you have these, people that have been in the industry for a while, and they can connect the dots real fast. Small businesses, not so much. So it's all about education and finding that hot spot. For us, we found a couple of different industries that really work well with us, and we have a lot of use cases using them. So we sort of piggyback off that and went with that. So I would just say, to answer your question, I would say more education and doing a lot of marketing on free platforms where people are going to be looking at your content.
And I would like to add to that, since I am kind of head of marketing for the entire North America, is the one main thing that you want to do, even before all of that, is you need to identify your ideal customer profile. Because otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of money on things that you really don't. So what I mean by that is, you want to attract those people to you who you want to do business with, and make sure you have a clear understanding of what that is. The ideal customer for what type of size of business they have, how many employees they have, what type of stage that they're on in their own journey. And why is that important to have your ideal customer profile lined out, focused on, outlined, clear to yourself and your team? Is because if you do any type of paid media and any type of paid advertising, they're going to ask for that, like, who are you targeting? And you want to guide them specifically to who you want to focus on. So then that's going to save you a lot of money on the back end.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And Luis, I want to add my 2 cents as well. The use of robots now, and this is like a tip and trick for anyone who's looking to break into B2B when it comes to RPA. Logistics is one of the best industries to get into right now. There's a lot of opportunities when it comes to warehouses, production centers, managing inventories, selecting and processing orders, and even part of customer service. These are no longer just tools, they're technological tools, and they are helping making better decisions, and they're mutating and collaborating with us. And I'm a personally, I believe that we're entering a 5th revolution industry, and RPA, when it comes to logistics, is a hot spot that hasn't been touched, I think, the way it could be.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, I want to make sure we're honoring everyone's time. And I know we're over 7 minutes over the time, but the opportunity is this. If you would like for us to continue to doing this type of series on LinkedIn audio, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like this, because if you do, I'm going to make sure the team has Wilton and his team come back, and then other guest hosts come back who's talking about the RPA trends even at a higher level, and making sure that you understand you're getting the information you need. So folks, my name is Kendall Matthews for Electronique. I want to thank Wilton, Rob, and Wasim, and Luis even for asking questions, and Malik for asking questions. Thank you everyone for coming a part of this journey, and happy automation. You have a good one.
Bye-bye, everyone. Nice to meet you, Will, Rob, Luis.
Pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you guys.